So hi, Leah. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah, I really appreciated your movie and you as a person, as a director. And yeah, let's go into the three short questions. So why do you do movies? What is your approach?
Why do I do movie? I think I do movie to understand the world and myself.
Yeah. So what is your favorite movie?
That's a terrifying question for a director. I would say Singing in the Rain.
Yeah. And what else would you do if you would be an artist?
Maybe I could be a teacher.
Lovely. So thank you so much for that. So you're a writer, you're an actress, you're a director. So you're very talented, you're very bright in your area. So thank you so much for this amazing movie. First of all, I really cried many times because it was so touching. You know, the scenes were so loving. So I really appreciated that, and I could really feel your whole heart and your whole investment in that movie, and this will be sad. Thank you so much for that, and also thank you so much for coming to this interview and sharing your time and your experience with us. So I definitely want to go into the beginning of the whole process. So how did you have the idea to make a movie about Maria Montessori?
Well, as you were saying, there's something very personal in the movie where I put it's true, I put all my heart in it. And that was because I started writing the movie when my daughter was born. And she was born with a genetic disease that makes her like a special need child. And I felt at that time that there were no representation of such children, and I had no idea how to project myself as a mother with such a child, and I was really at loss. And came back to me the ideas from Maria Montessori that I had learned about a few years before while working on a documentary film where she was one of the main characters. And I kind of had the feeling those two elements together brought me to write this movie.
Wow, very beautiful, very beautiful. So, what is your personal identification with Maria? So maybe you can go a little bit deeper also into that if you want.
You know, it's interesting because I really identify very strongly with her also because my own grandmother, she decided to leave her children. She had three children, and one of them was my mom, when they were little, because she felt trapped in a housewife life. And I really wanted to show how it was a struggle for women to be allowed to have a life outside of a household for centuries, of course, as we know. But this particular choice of giving up your child to be able to have a professional career and a life path that is not only made of sacrifices, I thought was a very strong story I could identify with as my grandmother had to make also this terrible decision.
Yeah, so may I ask you, how do you manage this? I mean, as I said, you're a writer, you're an actress, you in this whole movie scene where it's not an easy scene for all of us, and having a child that is, yeah, maybe a little bit challenging. How do you do that and your family?
Well, we have now worked it out that we have a real also that my child's father is doing as much as I am. So, and that's not often the case, even if I think as youngsters, we grew up with the idea that it would be equal, and that feminism was of no need anymore because equality was there. And then when we had children, and I think that's the case very strongly for my generation, we realized how much was still to gain and how the positions in the intimate sphere were still so strongly impregnated with patriarchalism ideas. And so in my household, I would say that we managed a way that it's more or less equal. So that's already a good solution. And I also try to really resent the idea that mothers should feel guilty about doing other things than taking care of their child. I love to do it, but I also love that my child is independent and that there's other people who are taking good care of my child. And you have to, I think, trust the world in being also a good careholder, I would say, yeah. So, and I started that when my child was really young, and I know that a lot of parents with special needs children feel like it's impossible to give their child to someone else, you know, for even a few hours. And I always thought, okay, that's really what I want to avoid, yeah? I really don't want to become that mother that thinks no one else can take care of their child. So I do the opposite. A lot of people are also there for my child. And that's how I manage, but it's not easy all the time, that's for sure. And it's nice to be out of shooting and editing time also now, for instance, and having more time just to hang out and not being always in the intensive part of filmmaking. But of course, that will have an influence on my career, probably, you know, and that's how it is.
What I found very beautiful in the movie is that Maria, she was so sacrificing for these children. And I think you could say she even sacrificed her own child. So she sacrificed one child to reach or help many children. And what it was really touching is that she said, you know, it's about love. And that was very impressive to me that she said, you know, the first thing is that we love these children. And what was very beautifully shown in the movie, you know, the other teachers or the helpers, the lady, they were had such a serving attitude to their children. And I mean, they're called idiots or they're called, you know, stupid and all these names, these awful names. And that is something that is so serving, so beautiful. And, you know, the thing is, would you say the movie is also feministic movie? Because the thing is, for me, it goes a little bit in two sides, in two directions. In one way, okay, love your child, sacrifice yourself as a mother to these children, to your child. But also on the other hand, she said, in that monologue, you know, you have to leave home, you have to, or go out, and this is, how do you combine these two things?
Oh yeah, I don't think she says that you need to sacrifice yourself for your children, because what you see in the whole movie is that there's always several women taking care of one child, yeah? So even Maria's son, Mario, there's this foster...
Sorry, now the sound is off. Now the sound is off.
The sound is off.
Yeah, now it's back.
It's back on? Okay. So even I was going to say, you see in the movie that there's always several women taking care of children, and that the mother figure is not the only women that can take care of a child. So that's the case for Mario, where there's this foster mom who's also taking care of him, but also for Lili, who gives her child to this institution. But then you see that there is Maria taking care of him and other women taking care of him. So I think the movie embodies that a child needs several maternal figures to grow, but it can be not their mother, and it can also be men, of course. You know, I do think they have that in them as well.
I mean, men very desperately needed. So
yeah, and you know,
very needed for a child. I think we all go along in that case.
So
it's very beautiful because Tina, the little girl, she was so longing for her mom. That was something so beautiful. How she was so desperately longing for her mom's love. And this is also something what I found was so beautifully shown in the movie, that she was so into her mom, even she was so rejected. So I think that's also something that a child also needs their mother. So.
Well, I think she's looking for attention from this woman that is rejecting her. But at the beginning, I guess she's not even taking... I mean, for me, Tina, at the beginning of the film, she doesn't care about her mom because it's not her mom. I mean, you're the mom of someone if you take care of them. So I don't think Lili, at the beginning of the film, somehow she's not related anymore to this child because she hasn't taken care of her for years. And so it's something that grows within the film from both sides, I would say. And also, you know, I think children are always attracted to beautiful women around them because they you know, they have this aura. So I think Tina also gets that from Lili, yeah, that she's this incredibly beautiful woman playing the piano, and that she's excited about this this figure of a woman. But then when she gets rejected, I was really working a lot about, you know, how children have this incapacity of reacting, you know. And when you're writing, you always want character to be reacting to violence with, oh, I'm not going well, but I'm doing something. And I think a child, when it's not treated well, is not reacting. It just, you know, fades somehow. It dies inside, but it's not... Yeah, and you see it, but it's not something that comes out. It's not gonna say, you know, oh, I'm not feeling well and I've been mistreated. Yeah, the child will just say nothing and stop talking, or start having eating disorders, or, you know, I don't know what. So I also wanted Tina to be somehow not strong enough to be able to react to the violence Lili somehow puts on her. And that it's Lili who has to understand that her path is to go back to this child, maybe not to abandon everything for her, but to accept her as she is. Yeah.
It was so beautiful. I really appreciated that in the end of the movie, that got it. That Maria, that she got back with her son, and that he accepted her name. And it was, thank you so much for this beautiful note. And so that means, you know, that the bonds between a mother and their child is so strong. Even after years, they could come back together. So
but I'm not sure I believe that, you know. I think it was the case in Maria Montessori's story that she managed to re-bond with her child, but I think sometimes it's not the case. I'm not someone who thinks that the mother bond is the strongest thing in the world. I think if you, as I was saying, I think if you don't take care of your child, it's also, you know, I think, and I wanted to say that about Maria sacrificing herself, because I think she sacrificed something that was super important to her, but I also think she's exactly not sacrificing herself while letting this child go, because I think sacrificing herself for a woman can also be accepting to be only in a household taking care of children. And I think what she does is also saying, I have more to offer to myself and to the world than just taking care of a child. And I really thought a lot about this, because I didn't want the film to have somehow a conservative message, you know, that at the end every woman should take care of their child. I think those are exactly individual choices, and that the balance is in you, and that the society shouldn't tell you how to do it, you know.
So thank you so much for this time. I had so much more questions, so much more to talk to you, but time is running, and already got the signs.
Yay!
Yeah, thank you so much for letting us know, giving us a glimpse of behind the scenes, and so all the best with the movie.
Thank you so much.
Really. So the movie will start on the 7th of
March
here in Germany, and so the audience can be very excited about that.
Great. Looking forward to it.
Great day. Good. Thank you so much, Leah. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.